First of all, I appreciate everybody showing up. There's a couple things that you're gonna see here. Joe was exactly right. A lot of people that see this presentation are very interested in their own home. It happens every time, and we do a lot of real estate and lending customers' homes with these programs. What you're going to learn is, first of all, the programs that can help your customers and create a marketing niche for you, okay, by simply providing information about these programs, the availability. It's our job to let people know how they can benefit and what the nuts and bolts are, but they do have to be informed. And I'm sure that you're here for that reason, okay, to find out what's going on, because there's some good stuff. There's some real good stuff. And you'll see as I go along. Now, as far as questions are concerned, please, if you're going to ask questions, because this is detailed, okay, if you're going to ask questions, I have no problem with you asking them right away, but ask something that I'm showing for that time. Don't get ahead of me, because we'll show you what we're going to be working with. First of all, give yourselves a pat on the back, because in business and life, especially business, there's three types of people. There's people that watch what happens, there's people that make things happen, and there's people that just sit around and go, gee, what happened out there? They just don't get it. And what you're going to see today is creating a green marketing niche. Going green is bigger now. It's bigger than it's ever been. Okay, there's more talk about it. You see it on the news all the time. You also see that the Edison's going to raise their rates. There's been a lot of talk about that. Ted was telling me, didn't you see it on TV, Ted, where they closed San Onofre, or they're closing San Onofre? Okay? It's going to take 10 years and they estimate, what, $3 billion?
Billions, yeah.
Billions.
Yeah, actually, I read the paper articles in the
Now,
paper, so I'm sure everybody's probably
unless there's an energy ferry up there that gives money to Edison, the money's coming out of our pockets. So you're going to see rates going up. And they've gone up 8% per year in the last 5 years. Government-sponsored programs, which is FHA, VA, mostly FHA. Home energy improvement upgrades. We're going to show you what they mean. We're going to tie them together for you. Okay? A lot of people, I would say 95 to 98% of the people have no idea how to make a home energy efficient. We did a focus group because I got a grant from Edison years ago, and we did some focus groups. And we talked to people and said, what do you think makes a home energy? Oh, windows. Well, windows is fine, but it's like having 6 holes in your boat and fixing one. Okay? A lot of people said solar. Well, solar is fine, but that's not, if you're going to make a great soup, it takes a lot of ingredients. And if you start leaving out ingredients, you don't have a great soup. And that's exactly what this is about. The home energy improvement upgrade, certified home energy audit, that is required on these programs. Nobody can set any bones until they get an x-ray. And the utility cash incentive programs, we will go into that in somewhat detail because there's a lot of money out there that the utilities, San Diego Gas and Electric, PG&E, Edison, and the gas company, all the independently owned utilities are offering some big dollars, up to $4,500, and it's on the front of your brochure, your green brochure. Going green, like I said, it's different now than it used to be. It's a whole nother ball game. You guys work with people, the human element. These are programs that are meant for the consumer, and only the consumer can benefit. The realtor doesn't make any more money on these. They do make a friend. We're going to show you how your customers and yourself, if you're interested, can have a cleaner, quieter, more comfortable home that uses a lot less energy. And if the solar happens with these 203K programs, it's cleaner, quieter, more comfortable, uses less energy, and produces energy. These programs have been known as the best kept home loan secret. Even though they've been around for a few years, most people don't know about them. Most consumers never find out if they exist, and we're trying to change that. FHA VA has the energy efficient mortgage. 203K Streamline, and 203K is from FHA, and that's a product that Joe's company works very closely with, and it gives people the opportunity to do a lot of things to their home. The energy efficient mortgage is a government-sponsored program that you can do when you're purchasing or refinancing, And there's no additional income qualifying or cash down. So, in other words, if a person barely gets in on that loan, and I mean they just get in on the skin of their teeth, and they say, by the way, I want that energy efficient mortgage program, they are automatically approved. And I'll tell you why, okay? They're allowed 5% of the appraised value to be used for energy efficient upgrades. And the energy efficient upgrades have to save more than the add-on payment. Like the flyer you have in front of you, the young lady there, Jennifer Brownwell, she added $34 to her house payment. She got $44 estimated savings per month as long as she lives in that home. And she got a check for $3,000 from the Edison company as kind of an attaboy for doing the work. So that's the energy efficient mortgage. The other one is the 203K Streamline and the 203K. The 203K Streamline, we're starting to do more and more of these. And what that is, basically, is you can get up to $35,000 to do improvements to your home. Now, we have some people that they're environmentalists and they want to do energy. Okay? So with the 203K Streamline, we can do solar, we can do new windows, we can do insulation, and we can do duct leakage. And this will all come together as I proceed. But with the 203K Streamline and the 203K, they do have to qualify. They have to qualify for the money. Now, Yvette's parents are having their home done right now. We're doing their home. And they're doing a 203K Streamline and an energy efficient mortgage. They're doing both at the same time. The utility companies, directed by the Public Utility Commission, PUC, has cash incentives for anyone that does these programs, depending as long as you go by their rules. You know, you have to go by their rules. If you say, gee, I just want windows, that's fine, you can have windows, but you don't get a nickel. You have to do a combination of things to get a percentage of savings. And we show every customer how to do that. It's called Upgrade California. Down here, it's sponsored by Edison and the gas company. In Northern California, it's PG&E. And in San Diego, it's San Diego Gas and Electric. They have millions to give away. Okay, here's the part where we start putting it together on what makes a home energy efficient. Okay? People get their utility bills once a month. They generally don't like them. They really don't like them in the summertime. Okay? And heating and cooling your home overall represents about 50%, okay, of utility bills. Now, just think for a second. In the summertime, your electric bill, what's it do? Triple? Quadruple?
Yeah.
Well, it's not because you're putting more things in the freezer. It's not because you're watching more TV. It's because your air conditioner kicked on. In the wintertime, your heating bill triples. Well, that's because the heat. So heating and air conditioning your home. It's estimated right now that 50% of all heating and air conditioning units in California are operating about 50% inefficient, at 50% capacity. The ideal situation in making a home energy efficient is to make your home like a thermos bottle. You want to do as much as you can to stop heat from entering in the summer and leaving in the winter. Thermos bottle, real simple. Put hot coffee in a thermos bottle, 6 in the morning. Why do you still have hot coffee at 12 noon? It's because the heat didn't escape. The same with a cold drink. You put it at 6 in the morning, you still have a cold drink at 12 noon. Why? Well, that's because the heat didn't take over. Okay? Didn't lose. So you want to do everything you can to make your home like a thermos bottle. We'll start out with the attics. Attic insulation is a primary function of this program, one of the best improvements that people can do. A lot of people have some insulation, and they think it's enough, and they don't. They don't. So, I've seen situations where people got like this much, and they say, yeah, my attic's insulated fine. And where? I said, that's like wearing a T-shirt in Alaska. That's not doing anything, you know. So, and then some attics are actually empty. We run into that all the time still. The attic insulation is blown in, and that's what you want to look like when you're done. You want to get to an R38. R means resistance to heat, and I'll go over that a little later, but that's what you want for the attic. On older homes built prior to 1978, the walls aren't insulated because the energy code there was no energy code. So a lot of older homes built in the 50s, 60s, early 70s, they have no wall insulation. We insulate the walls under these program guidelines, drill holes from the outside, fill the insulation, and then do all the patchwork. Now, if you're taking notes, attic and wall insulation represent about 50% of heat gain in the summer and heat loss in the winter. That's two biggies, attic and walls. We use cellulose material, which is ground up newspaper that's impregnated with borate. Borate's the stuff they dump on forest fires. And it's also non-toxic, and it prevents fungicides. Okay? It's a great product. Matter of fact, I've done several utility company personnel, and they've always requested cellulose. The biggest thing with cellulose is its fire retardancy. It's great for fire spread. I'm going to tell you a little story. It's the honest to God truth. We insulated a lady's home in Ontario, I think it was like 13 years ago. And I remember the couple because I went out. All my guys were busy, and it was local because I was located in Upland at the time. So I went out, and the lady wanted attic insulation, R38. She wanted a ton of attic insulation. I heard from the lady 6 months later. She said, "We want to thank you for saving our lives." And I said, "Wait a minute. I mean, I know we do a good job, but where's this coming from?" She said, "No, the fire chief in Ontario said you call that guy and thank him for saving your life." What happened was somebody threw a firecracker. These people were in their 80s. Somebody threw a firecracker on their roof. The roof caught on fire, and the embers kept going into the insulation, and that's where it stopped. It didn't spread. Finally, somebody saw the situation, called the fire department, and they told them they wouldn't be there today if they wouldn't have had that insulation in there. For all the people that are environmentalists, tree huggers, okay, when you insulate the average older home, attic and walls, you use enough newsprint, that the average person discards in 40 years. Now it's going into the home, serving a purpose, rather than going into the landfill. The next part of the program is sealing leaks in the home. We're able to find leaks. There's a machine brought in. It's called a blower door. It depressurizes the home, and it enables to get a reading on the leakage of the home, and we're able to locate the leakage. Go around with a smoke pencil, we can find exactly where it is. And leaks, believe me, are about 25% of the heat gain. Now we're getting to the 100%, which is not actually 100%, but 25% of heat gain and loss is leakage in a home. And I'm sure some of you people say that, gee, we got a drafty window, we got a drafty door, we got all this stuff. Okay, that's all part of this program. It's another 25%. There's caulking done, there's weather stripping, various types of weather stripping. And sealing the building envelope is essential. Now, a byproduct of stopping heat from entering and heat from leaving a home is if you're going to stop a certain percentage of heat from entering, you stop a certain percentage of noise from entering. It travels the same avenue as heat does. So all these things that we do have side benefits. Cleaner, remember I said cleaner, quieter, more comfortable home that uses less energy. Once the leakage program is done, the home is retested. We have to have the results, and they have to give those to the utility company for the rebates. So the testing is essential, okay? And there's kind of an old saying, professionals test, the rest guess, okay? And it's very true, okay? Because without, and not only that, Edison and the gas company require these things to be done, or they don't give the money. They have the money bags. We don't. Next, we're going to talk about windows. In the focus group, this was great. Everybody, 80% of the people said, well, windows, that's number one. It's a good thing to do, but it's not number one. It's like I said about having 6 holes in your boat and you fix one. You know, you're not even close to accomplishing what you need to do. But windows are essential on this program. A lot of customers want windows. with the energy efficient mortgage and 203K Streamline. And we use low E, 366 glass, durable vinyl frames, and the locking mechanisms are 20 times better than the old home. Okay, now, who has an older home here? You have, what year was it built?
1968.
68. Did you have new windows put in?
No.
Okay. In 68, your windows, probably they're hard to open, hard to close. Okay, I got bad news for you, but I got good news. We can help you out. Okay, but the bad news is those windows weren't good when they were new. It's the honest to God truth. They weren't that good when they were new. Because builders take the avenue of least resistance also. Okay? If something says, well, you can do a little better, we're not doing it. We're building 100 homes this year. We're doing cheap. And that's what they do. Anything to pass code, which in your era, before 78, there was no energy code at all. If you get a home today, a lot of this stuff's already done. It has to be done. Windows, the situation. They don't look good. They don't open right. They're not safe. If you have a situation where there's broken windows, we can work with you on the Edison program. This is what a new window looks like compared to that old one to the left. Locking mechanisms are very important to people. They're like 20 times better, okay, than the old windows. When people get new windows and they slide easy and they lock great, and they add beauty to the home, let's face it, it's a nice investment. But it's only part of the equation. It's another 25%. So you got attic, you got walls, you got leakage, now you got windows. Okay, when you do those four things to a home, you stop about 85% of heat gain in the summer and heat loss in the winter. You stop about 85% of noise. And you stop about 85% of dust and dirt that normally gets in your home. Beautiful sliders. It's all part of the program. And, of course, windows add curb appeal. They add beauty to your home. Any questions up to this point? None?
Go ahead.
If you do this particular upgrade and you determine the house has termites, how do you handle that?
Oh, that's not in our field.
It's not. I understand that.
No.
But would you bring that to their attention?
The test doesn't test for termites. Mm-hmm. This is all energy related.
Right.
Which I'll go into that.
Right.
But I will tell you this: termites don't like cellulose.
Right.
They don't like it at all because it's got the borate. It ruins their protective layer. So insects do not like cellulose. Okay. Now I'm not going to sit here and say, "Gee whiz!" Now if you insulate your attic and walls, you'll never have a termite problem. I can't say that. Okay. Good question.
What does the test cost, Ray?
I'll get to that. Attic and wall insulation 50%, 25% for air leakage, and 25% for windows. And take that to the bank because that's every study that's ever been coming down the pike is just about that situation right there. Okay? If you do just windows and your attic and walls are about empty and your home leaks like a sieve, you're not accomplishing anything. You're not accomplishing a thing. Because remember, if heat seeks the avenue of least resistance. Warm air goes to cold air. If it's cold outside, your heat's trying to leave. If it's cool inside, your heat's trying to come in. So if it can't come in the windows, it comes in the walls. It comes in the attic. It comes in everywhere it can. So it's always on the move. Heat is energy, and it's always seeking a lower pressure. When you pour a cup of coffee and you have steam, it's because the hot is going to a cooler area, which is the outside temperature. That's what it is. And that has never changed. I sat down 25 years ago with a doctor of physics at General Dynamics, and he explained the whole thing to me. He said, look, he said, here's the way it works, and I've lived by it ever since. Okay. Any questions up till now? Because I'm getting into the real serious stuff now. Okay? Oh, my goodness. I'm skeptical there. Mm-hmm. You cannot have an energy efficient home without tight ducts. Okay? If you have ducts that leak 30, 40, and they're tested, by the way, If you have ducts that leak 30, 40, 50, we've seen them, Ted, we've seen them as high as what, 85% leakage?
In that neighborhood.
Yeah, because we've done over 1,000 homes.
What happens, sometimes people don't even want to run their heater or air conditioners because they know it doesn't do much good, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Duct work is a heavy, heavy priority on these programs. Okay? You ever been in a home where you look at the registers and they're black, they're dirty? That's bad ducts. And I'll show you what happens, okay? But the Department of Energy says that we lose approximately 15 to 20 billion a year because of bad ducts. So if you have the highest efficient furnace and air conditioner in the world, and your ducts leak 50%, your heating and air conditioning is 50% less efficient. Because it's going into the attic. It's not getting to the rooms. If you have a hybrid that's supposed to get 50 miles to the gallon, and it's getting 20, and you go out and you see gasoline all over the driveway, how fast are you going to fix that? Well, you have to. Okay? You're not getting your money's worth. It's the same with ductwork. What happens with ducts is, as the air goes through and goes to the various rooms, a lot of the air through the leaks are in the joints, they're in where they're connectors, they're in the boots where they're connected flush, okay? As the air goes through, air leaves, the money that you're paying for that cool air, it leaves, and it's sucking in attic filth at the same time and redistributes it throughout the home, as you can see. Okay? And when it comes to ductwork, it's the number one cause of bad indoor air quality, is bad ducts. And what happens is, over a period of years, they get bad. I mean, they're like anything. They don't last forever. And once again, if your home was built 25 years ago or whatever, what they put in wasn't great ducts anyway. And then over a period of years, they start to separate. And really, the only way to fix it, that's a 22-year-old duct that we took out. And you can see the filth. This is what you run into all the time. And people don't know it. Because it's out of sight, out of mind. You don't, I mean, first of all, no couple wakes up in the morning and says, gee, I think we ought to get our ducts tested. You know, I think we ought to get our house tested. They don't think of these things. They don't think of them. And that's what I'm here for. As you can see, it's a situation we run into all the time. To be honest with you, the only way to really take care of the duct problem, regardless of the leakage, Yvette's parents' home, I believe, is 42% leakage. We're going to take that down to about 5%. We're putting in brand new ducts. It's the only way to do it. Because some of the ducts are so bad that you have a situation where they leak over here, and in about 6 months they're going to leak over there. Okay? So you fix it here, you know, and you just can't control it. So putting in new ducts and then sealing all the joints in the boots where they're connected with a mask, they call it mastic. It's painted on and it dries like a hard rubber. We used to tell people that if there's an earthquake, a major earthquake, and your house falls down, your ducts will still be in place, because that's what it does. Ductwork. When I told you about the indoor air quality, that's studies that have been done for years. Bad ductwork is the major cause of bad indoor air quality. Pollen, insecticides, insulation fibers, automatic exhaust gets through the vents and it comes into your home. All this happens because of ductwork. Once again, the ducts are tested after to make sure that the job was done right. You test before and you test after. So we got people, my goodness, we've had people at 60% and we get them down to 4. Okay. Yes, Gary?
I want to add another benefit for the new ducting is that they'll put on dampers and control the airflow. The original ductwork, usually there's one room that gets blasted and the room at the end of the line gets no air.
Right.
So
Usually the front of the house is cold and the back, the
Right.
back is cold and the front's hot.
so air, you can achieve some air balance by redoing your ducts.
Yeah, and Ted brought up a good point earlier. In a lot of homes, people say, I got the air conditioner set at 75, and it never gets below 80. And they said it keeps running and running. Well, it's not going to work. I mean, with bad ducts, there's no way. There's absolutely no way it's going to work. And it's a top priority on these programs. Now we're getting to high efficiency furnaces and air conditioners. I always equate older equipment to like an old car. If you have an old car, it maybe used to get 15 miles a gallon, now it's getting like 8. Well, that's the same thing with old equipment. They lose efficiency over a period of years. Okay? In California, the studies have been done that say 50% of people's heating and air conditioning are operating at 50% efficiency. So let's say you have that car that got 15 miles a gallon, now it's getting 7, 8. It's only going to get worse. It doesn't get better. Okay? These are new air conditioners, and the efficiency is determined by seasonal energy efficiency ratio, SEER. Okay? The higher the SEER, the better, but there's a point of no return for people. Okay? For example, if you have a well-insulated home, and you have new ducts, and you have a good unit, you don't need the most efficient unit because it's not going to run that much anyway. Okay? It's just not going to run that much. Same thing with the furnace. AFUE, annual utilization efficiency. How many of you people have furnaces and air conditioners that are, say, 20, 25 years old in your home? Somewhere in that neighborhood. Okay. They're probably operating about 50% less than they used to. And some of them weren't that. Yvette's parents' home, where they're going to a 14 SEER, okay, and their air conditioner was an 8 SEER, but that 8 SEER is probably operating at about a 4 because it's old. It was 30 years old, 32 years old, or something like that. Okay, it's not. When I was in the home with her parents, what nice people, and I was in the home, it was running the whole time, and it wasn't doing the job. Yes.
I have the air conditioners on top of the house.
That's called dual pack. Yeah. It's just on top of the house. Okay. They're together. The furnace and air conditioner are together, and some people have those setups. Okay.
Now, how does that come into play with this? Do you replace it and put it down on the ground, or?
No. You can just replace the dual pack because all the connectors lead from there, so you're okay. Yes.
Is there anything you can do for like a mid-century modern home? I've got a client that bought one, and I went to see them, and their house is like really hot. But I'm looking, there's no room for anything. All the vents seem to be under the floor and everything.
Well, in a situation like that, what I'll do is when I get to the audit part, because the audit is essential. Okay, there's nothing that can be done unless an audit is done, and the audit is very thorough. And it's one of the things that's required by Edison and the gas company program. If you're going to get the money, you've got to do the audit. Right. And you've got to show the difference. So I'll get to that. Okay. We show tankless and we show storage tanks to increase water efficiency. Don't get a tankless water heater unless you have a water softener, because they're a maintenance nightmare. And I hope I didn't offend anybody that might have a tankless, but they're tough. They get corroded and they don't work as well after about a year. So you have to constantly clean them. You know? Okay. Any questions up till now? Okay. What I've shown you so far is everything that will make a cleaner, quieter, more comfortable home that uses less energy. What I'm going to show you now is producing electricity. Okay? Once the core measures are done in a home, the insulation and all the things that I showed you prior to this, then it's cost effective to do solar. And I'm having solar put on my house by this gentleman's company right here, probably next week or the week after. Okay. My bills are not bad. Matter of fact, David Horowitz did a special on my home about 11, 12 years ago, a home that we did in my home. I have very low bills, but I'm investing in an edge for Edison company increases. Okay, my gas bill I got the other day was $12.34. Okay, and my Edison bill runs about $90, $100 in the summertime. I keep my house at 74. I'm going to be comfortable. I worked hard for a lot of years, and I'm not going to be one of these people that set it at 78. and they're going around sweating and you can't touch. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. Okay. So solar cells convert sunlight into electricity. It basically produces electricity. All right, and it's a good thing to have, and especially if you're doing a 203K Streamline, you can do a lot of the core measures and solar. And people can get close to $5,000 back in cash incentives from the utilities and a tax credit of approximately $6,000. I need the tax credit. Okay? Does anybody here have solar? Don't you dare raise your hand. Okay, well, let me. Basically, and I'm not an expert on this like you are, okay? But basically, the sun hits the cells and it converts DC power from the solar panels to AC power for the household. It's really relatively simple. As it produces electricity, your meter runs backwards, correct? Okay? So your meter runs backwards all day long, and then at night when it's not producing, then it goes forward. The ideal situation for solar is to make sure that you have a unit that's sized well enough. You don't need to oversize, okay? That's not a good thing. If you have a unit that's sized well enough to pretty much take care of what you use. Now, with my solar unit coming in 2 weeks, from here on out, as long as I live in that home, I will probably have close to 0 electric bills. And I already have a low gas bill. So, I mean, I won't be paying the utilities hardly anything. This is different types of cells and things that you see. Okay. 25-year warranty with Solar Max. And that's the company that we're using on these programs. They seem to be the most honest. I threw 3 guys out of my home that lied to me, you know, and I didn't like that because I did enough homework. You know, well, what about this? Oh, well, you know, and I go, no, that's not true. No, you didn't quite tell me the truth, you know, and I ran into that. There's a lot of that going on. If you got a window guy at your house, he's telling you windows all you need. My God, put those new windows in. You'll save so much money. Put your kid through college. You know, that doesn't happen. That's not going to happen. Okay, the solar guy might say different things. It's hard to get somebody, but we do everything, so we don't have to lie about anything. We're going to give you the right information for your particular home. There's no moving parts, and your meter runs backwards. If there's anything you might want to add, because I'm not a solar energy expert just
right,
yet.
I do. For those of you that are familiar with Riverside Public Utilities, the rebates aren't all the same with all the utility companies. Riverside Public Utilities has a huge rebate. They're paying for about half of the system. This year, the rebate only lasts 3 hours. It was gone.
Yeah.
A lot of people know about solar now. They know it works. They know there's really no maintenance involved. But each utility has a different rebate. The government will pay 30%. So,
Yeah, tax credits. If you need a tax credit, and I do, it's ideal for me.
dollar for dollar tax credits.
Yeah, yeah. So.
But yeah, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money that covers it.
But if you have an attic and you have walls that are empty and ducts that leak terrible, and your house leaks like a sieve, and you do solar, I'm going to be mad at you, because that's the wrong approach.
Right.
That is not the right approach. It's the whole thing.
And most people don't use as much electricity as they'd like to use, so we do put up systems that will cover, 20% more. So
Yeah,
people can
sure.
run their air conditioning a little bit
Sure.
more and still not pay high bills, right?
Yeah. This is a grant we got from Edison Gas Company and the Public Utility Commission from 1999 to 2005. It's called Performance for Home. We actually certify the homes once they've done the work. Performance 4 means cleaner, quieter, more comfortable home that uses less energy. And we give people a certificate that lists what they did and how much it cost. There's a little punch hole, it's laminated, and they put this on the back of their furnace door. Okay? And they can show that to the appraiser when they sell the home down the road. Or they could show it to their neighbors if they want. They can do anything they want with it. Okay? Or show it to the next potential home buyer. Because you might have done attic, walls, leaks, you've done all these things. Why not let people know? Now I know you're going to have a hard time believing this, but I actually am old enough to do a reverse mortgage. Oh, everybody's laughing. That's real funny. That's good. So anyway, I didn't know the guy. You're not allowed to know the appraiser, right? He can't be a friend of yours. Well, the guy came to the house, and I showed him my certification, and he loved the medallion on the front door. By the way, this is the medallion that we put on the front door. This is what Edison and the gas company awarded us $2.4 million for over a 5-year period to escalate this idea, okay, of certifying. Only works on older homes. Has nothing to do with new homes. We put this on the front door.
24 karat, right?
Whoa. 18.
Get 'em.
Anyway, this gentleman, Mr. Perez, came to my house and I showed him. He took a copy of the certification. He took some pictures of different things in the home, took a picture of the medallion, and he gave me $7,500 increased appraised value because of the energy improvements that I had done.
The back of your cert has the URAR line items where they make that adjustment.
Yeah, the back of the certification is an actual appraiser copy. So if an appraiser goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't honor that," the homeowner can go, "Excuse me, what do you mean you don't honor it?" Okay, it says right there you can do it. Well, that's why the certification is so essential. The appraiser doesn't know what an R38 is. He don't know if the wall. He don't know any of this stuff. It's all spelled out here, what they did and how much it cost. So he can take it right from here. It's like cheating, okay? And that's the only way. One of the heads of the Appraiser Association worked with me on my grant, and he told me, he says, appraisers are lazy. He said, they're not going to do any extra. They're going to pop their head in the attic and say, well, I don't know what that is. It's 10 inches. Is that? I don't know. He says, but if you have this, they could just take it from there, okay? Now we get to the good part that Joe asked about. Every home, in order to qualify for these programs, has to have an energy efficient audit. Cute little guy, huh? Well, once again, when you have the audit done, okay, the ducts are tested, the home's tested for leakage, the furnace and air conditioner is looked at, the model numbers for age and efficiency, your water heater is checked, your insulation levels, attic and walls, the condition of your windows, dual pane, single pane, pain in the butt, whatever you got, they're there. Okay, it's all recorded, and then you get the option of doing what you want to do to improve the home. And that's now, for people doing an energy efficient mortgage, the audit costs $399. And CAR, California Association of Realtors, if you do the energy efficient mortgage, which 95% do, then they reimburse you $250 for your audit cost. Now that's the California Association of Realtors. They got involved in this, which stunned a lot of people about a year and a half ago. The audits have to be done with a BPI certified auditor, Building Performance Institute. Edison requires that, and then they have to test out. In other words, they're not going to just take the word for it. You have to show that you've got the results that people need. You test in, you test out. That's the only way they give the rebates. Correct, Gary? Yeah. Edison wants people to have this money. They want it done right. They want to make sure that people get a square deal. With solar and the core measures, people can get up to $5,500 in cash incentives. Your customer can get up to $5,500 in cash incentives. Now that's a check sent to you for kind of an attaboy for doing the program. There's also tax credits, and you can get up to about $7,000 by doing a 203K Streamline if you do solar and you do the core measures. It's close to about $6,500 to $7,000 in tax credits. And I need the tax credit for myself, and it's like cash. Does everybody know what a tax credit is? Well, let me explain it to you and tell me if I'm wrong. If I owe $20,000 to Uncle Sam and I say, wait a minute, I did solar and I have a $5,000 tax credit, I now only owe 15, correct? That's the way it is. It's like cash. Okay? So instead, if I owe Uncle Sam 5,000, I say, wait a minute, I did this, now I don't owe him nothing. So that's the way it's used. The 203K Streamline, to me, is the most underutilized program that FHA has. It's a great program. It gives people the opportunity to do a lot of things now rather than waiting till later. Okay? They can do new floors, they can do carpet, they can do countertops, they can do solar, they can do a lot of the energy improvements, they can do a new roof. Yvette's dad is having a new roof put on. It's a very old roof, and he's having one of the major things he's doing at 203K is for the new roof. Paint jobs. Now, let me tell you what my role is in all of this. No realtor or lender is going to work with this program if it's complicated. We make it easy. One phone call to us takes care of everything. We organize the audit. We show the consumer the audit results. We have recommendations, and we pretty much tell them what they're going to get back from Edison and the gas company. Okay? It doesn't hold up the loan. The money's held in escrow, and the real estate agent gets paid, and then when the people finish, get in the home, then the work is completed, and then the contractor gets paid. We use a couple of contractors, okay, and we try to get the best deal for our consumer, but we still have to go within the guidelines of Edison and the gas company. I mean, if somebody says, gee, I only want this, if there's no rebates involved in doing that, we'll do it for them. But we kind of recommend to them, gee, try to do a few more things and you'll get a couple grand back here, you know. So that's the role of the facilitator. That's what we do. It's a one-stop shop. The back of your green trifold is our phone number, and you call us. We don't expect you people to become energy efficient experts. We want you to help out your consumer and inform them that programs are around, some good things they can do, especially if they're buying an older home. Okay? But we take it from there. I sometimes field 30 calls a month, and I explain to people, and some say, I'll pass, and some say, gee, I want that audit. Okay? It's up to the individual. We tell them what it's about. There's also something else. On the flyer that you got about Jennifer Brownwell, there's a great website called homebuyersrighttoknow.com. You can go to it. And it's the 2 is the number 2, homebuyersrighttoknow.com. Now, if you're a realtor or a mortgage lender and you do one of these, we feature you on the website. And we have interest from the gas company and various organizations, you know, on what we're doing with these programs, because they work hand in hand with what they're doing, their rebate programs. Okay, just to kind of review here, what do you get for this as a person, as a real estate professional, a mortgage lender professional? You get referrals and repeat business. You help somebody have a cleaner, quieter, more comfortable home, and they got a nice chunk of cash from the utility company. You don't think they're not going to remember you? I mean, you're their friend forever. You know, we've proven this time and time again. We've done over 800 homes, and we have some realtors and lenders. They attract a consumer by telling them, "Hey, I'm the kind of guy that tells you about this kind of stuff. The guy next door doesn't." Here we go. Which one stands out? Okay, the guy on the left there. I mean, he's been around for a long time, and he knows how to do loans, and he's professional and takes care of his customer. And the girl on the right, she's a great realtor, smiles good, looks good. She helps her customer. But the person in the middle says, wait a second, I'm all of that too. But I also tell you about programs that you're entitled to. Okay? There's cash incentives. You can be more comfortable, a quieter home. There's all these programs, and I feel an obligation, a professional obligation to tell you and inform you about these programs. You don't have to do it, but I'm at least the kind of person that's going to tell you. Which person would you want to deal with Huh?
Knowledgeable.
Yeah, I appreciate when people tell me things to do. Okay, hey, my sales manager, a young lady, worked for me for years. She came into work one day, and she was down in the dumps. I said, Tammy, what's wrong? She said, we just had our taxes done, and I had a good year with you, and my husband had a pretty good year, and we owe $1,750. And I said, you owe $1,750. I says, why don't you call your tax person and see about an IRA? She had no idea what an IRA was. So I explained to her what it was, and she said, okay. So she called her tax person and says, my husband can contribute $2,000. This is back where it was $2,000. It's $6,000 now. But you could put $2,000 in, so they both could do it. It was $4,000. So if we got an IRA, what would that do to our tax thing? She says, well, give me a day to work it up. She called her back and says, well, you don't owe $1,750. You're going to get $550 back. And I said, now, the next thing you want to do, Tammy, is ask her why she didn't tell you about that. Okay? I mean, she's a professional, correct?
Right.
Why didn't she tell you about that? And she says, well, it's extra paperwork, and I usually don't do that. She fired her. And I don't blame her. Uncle Sam wants you to do this. Okay? Congress approved these programs a few years ago because they know if people are buying older homes, they have an opportunity to make it energy efficient without putting any real money out of their pocket because they don't have any real money left once they're in the home. They don't have it. Okay? So this is an opportunity to do it before and later. People get in the home and they go, gee, the air conditioner's running all day, my bills are high, we're not comfortable. Gee, but they didn't know about the program. They had no idea. So, this is a utility buzzword that's going around now. It's called net zero. And when you do solar and the core measures, okay, there's wonderful benefits. You reduce carbon emissions, dependence on fossil fuels, but the thing is, you almost eliminate your utility bill. And I mean eliminate. Now nobody's ever going to eliminate them totally, but you get them down to enough to where it's like a joke. I mean, wouldn't you like to have a $4 Edison bill and a $12 gas bill and say, yeah, that's great, you know? With this program and the results we got, I've appeared on like 6 TV shows. I was in I don't know how many newspapers. LA Times, when they had the real estate section, they did 3 stories on us, and we were in Redlands paper, the San Bernardino Sun. We were in quite a few, over 40, over a 20-year period. Very proud of that because we didn't pay for those articles. You people can do that, okay? And if you're in a little town that's got a little newspaper and you're helping a customer out, go to the newspaper. Say, hey, look, let's do a story on this. Build yourself up a little bit. It's good. It's good media. Because to be honest with you, 99.9% of anybody purchasing or refinancing a home has no idea that these programs exist. Because nobody's telling them. We received an award in the year 2000 from Andrew Cuomo, who was then the Secretary of HUD. It was quite an honor. I had to go to L.A. and I didn't know what it was for, but the guy from HUD that was a friend of mine says, "Don't even question it. Get going. Get there." So we have all the information, flyers to help you promote this if you're a lender, and things that you can give to your consumer. And basically that's it. And we have a favor to ask you. We have a certification survey, and Ted will give you one. And we have a certification for you. But I have a little joke that I just heard that I thought was kind of cute. Are you guys open for a little joke?
Oh, yeah.
For everybody. Yeah, there's these 2 guys. They're in their 90s. One's named Henry and one's named Ted, and they're the best of friends. They are absolutely. I already told you this, didn't I? Oh, they're the best of friends. Their wives have passed away years ago. Most of their friends are long gone. And they have each other, and they live next door. They grew up together, and they're like the best of friends. Well, Ted dies.
Oh.
Yeah, and Henry's just devastated. He's just totally devastated that he lost his friend Ted. And he's laying in bed one night, and he hears a voice, "Henry, Henry," and he says, "Is that you, Ted?" He says, "Yes, yes." He says, "Ted, it's so good to hear from you." He said, "What are you doing? What do you do? Where are you at?" He says, "Well, I get up in the morning, I make love." He said, "I eat a little bit, take a rest. Make love, eat a little bit, take a rest." He said, "I repeat that about 15 times a day." He says, "Oh my." He says, "You must be in heaven." He says, "No, I'm a rabbit in Nebraska." If you fill out the survey,
Oh, thank you.
okay, you get a certification. My girlfriend said that anybody that listens to me for more than a half hour, you have to give them something. So, oh, way to go, yeah. If you fill out the survey and you're interested in your own home being looked at, the audit, because it's not FHA, is $299. There's a reduction for the realtors and lenders to get them going on this program.
$100 reduction.
It's a $100 reduction. But I would ask you to do me a favor. If you do want your home looked at, put it in the comments that I'm serious, because I call a lot of people and they put yes for everything, and they didn't have any intention of their home being looked at or whatever.
I have another question, man.
Go for it.
How does this work for the townhomes? A lot of the older townhomes really need the energy efficient program. This will work good.
Townhomes are they on this program?
Not for EUC.
Okay, no, they're not on
I
it.
knew the condos weren't, but I know that.
Yeah.
I thought the townhomes might be, depending on what year.
Single family.
Yeah.
Just single family only. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, and if you don't
I'll
put stuff in your
put it in the
fridge,
comment,
your
maybe.
electric bill goes up too.
Yeah.
Mine was empty. No water, no nothing.
Ray?
Yeah.
If someone's already an escrow with an FHA loan, is it too late to implement this, or it has to be done from the very get-go?
Well, an excellent question. The ideal time to do this is when they're going to get that home. That's the home they're getting, and they're approved. Okay? Because that gives us time to do the audit, which takes like about a week, and then it only takes my girl. She goes over the audit and the numbers. It takes her 2 days. So we usually handle it within 10 days. Okay? And the ideal time, when somebody calls up and says, they're closing in 2 weeks, it's too close. It's too close. You know? And, we don't want to upset anybody. And that's a major thing. But can you people see how to use this as a marketing niche? Because you got information. Knowledge is power, and knowledge about power bills and how to reduce them can be an actual powerful advantage. Okay? Because I guarantee you, how many of you people had any idea what it takes to make a home energy efficient before you came here today? And Ted, you be quiet back there. Huh? How many of you people had any idea? Did you learn something here today?
Absolutely.
Okay. Same with a consumer. They have no idea what it takes. And if nothing else, we've helped people. They said, you know what, Ray? At least, we were going to do windows. We're going to spend $9,000 on windows. We see now that's not the way to go. And you helped us. So we give people the straight scoop. Because we do it all, we don't, we're a store that sells everything. We don't need to say, do this one or do that one. Okay?
It was interesting too. A friend of mine bought a new air conditioning unit, and I was talking to him about the same thing about the ducts. Because he was like, my master bedroom doesn't get cold. I said they must not have given you the new ducts, and like you mentioned, the air flow balance.
Air balancing, yeah.
But I said that's crazy. You paid all this money and you still don't have the balance.
That's a good point. Well, I'll tell you something else that's happening out there. Okay? It's state law now that when you are doing heating and air conditioning, you have to have, if you pull a permit, you have to have your ducts tested before and after. Okay, that's required by law. But there's a lot of heating and air conditioning companies, they don't pull a permit, and they don't have nothing to do with ducts. They don't have the testing equipment, and what they do, and it's not a nice thing to do, but they tell people, I looked at your ducts, they're fine. They're fine. And they go ahead and do the easy part. Slap in the new equipment to old ducts that leak 60%. that's an in-service and injustice to your home, to your homeowner. It's terrible. Yes?
They might even look and see that you have asbestos ducting and not want to deal with it.
Yeah, that happens all the time too. Yes?
When they were measuring the ducts in there, is it because it has to be a certain length?
Measuring.
The insulation.
The insulation, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good question.
Because you were saying it's like.
Yeah, insulation is determined by R value.
Right.
Okay, R value means resistance to heat. Okay? Every insulation material has a designated R value by the federal government. For example, cellulose has 3.7. Okay? Blown-in fiberglass has what, 2.4, 2.5? It's a lot less. So if you want an R38, which is recommended on these programs, that's the level of insulation that's going to do you a lot of good. Okay, fiberglass you got to put in 15 inches. Cellulose you only need to put in 10.2, and you have the same effect. Okay, so as far as the levels are concerned, and when the audit's done, we tell you exactly what you got. Some people have an R4, R5. Some people have nothing. Some people are R15. You know, so we show them. We try to work with them as best we can.
The stories of a home, or the single to a double.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does the cellulose compact over time?
No, its density, its reduction density is very, very low compared because it's lightweight. Yes.
Also, as part of the Energy Upgrade California program, when we insulate your attic, we're going to air seal the floor of your attic, so your actual ceiling, all the penetrations, so that you don't have air transfer.
And dirt and dust too.
It's another air quality.
But like with two-story homes, I know they have like from the bottom to the, they have like a gap. What about there? Like my parents' home, it's kind of weird. It seems like there's like a big difference in between the levels.
Yeah, two-story. If you're going to do attic insulation, of course you can only do where there's an attic.
Right.
Okay,
But I mean, like how you guys were on the walls, you were insulating the walls of older homes.
Yeah.
That rim joist is an issue on a retrofit, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
Good question. Good question.
So again, the sale, this is 3 point what? 3.2, you said? 3.2, you mentioned?
3.7.
3.7.
Yeah. Fiberglass is like 2.3, 2.4. Yeah.
Altogether, it'd be around 10 inches, you said?
10.2 inches is an R38.
So you're saying about 10 days, so if you do a refi or a purchase, you're within 30 to 45 days close. So you still got to do the work, that's what you're saying.
No, the work's done. The work's done after they're in the home. The money's held in escrow.
Okay, but you saying you needed more time,
No, we need enough time to do the audit.
which is 10 days.
I'd say within 7.
Okay.
And then we have to read the audit and contact the consumer and say here's your package. You can do windows and insulation and leaky. Here's the things you can do, but the customer picks what they want. But we have to go by the guidelines of FHA. Good question. Okay, so whatever they need and what they want. I mean, there's some people that said, you know what, forget the rebate. I don't care. My wife wants new windows and that's it. So we can't do just new windows, but we do attic insulation and windows. And they're happy, but they're not going to get a rebate. Because to get a rebate, there's certain things you got to do. You want to have tight ducts. You got to have attic insulation. The ceiling, you have to seal the attic floor, okay? And if you do windows, that counts. So you need to do 3 things, okay? And these are the regulations of the utilities. Okay, now as you do more, they give you more money. We did a 203K Streamline in Torrance, and the guy was all about energy. He did the 203K just for energy. He got new heating and air, new ducts, attic and wall insulation, all new windows, new water heater, and had all the leaks. And he got $5,000 because at the time, L.A. was giving extra, L.A. County. So he qualified and he got more because, if you do that now in this area here with Edison, the gas company, it's going to be $4,500. But he got $5,000. He got extra because of LA County.
So our approach, smartest thing would be to educate the consumer a little bit about it. Say if you're interested in testing the home you're buying or the one that we're refinancing for you, I'm going to put you in touch with Ray.
Yeah, tell them about the website and then just hand them the green. This is worth $1 million. Okay, you can say, look, you're buying a home. you're going to buy this home, it's an older home, there's some great programs out there for you. And here, I'm going to give you this brochure, and I'll put you in touch with a guy, you know, that'll explain it in detail to you. And we don't want you to be energy experts,
Right.
you know. Well, we want you to get a bigger loan, though.
Sure.
You know, absolutely. And we want you to have a happy customer. That means more to me than anything. I still, to this day, I go to the grocery store and I still run into people say, Mr. Hall. Who the hell is that? Goodness. You did our home 12 years ago. Best decision we ever made. Oh yeah, how you doing? How you doing there? You know, but it happens all the time. There's no secret to this, by the way. When you do attic and walls and leaks and windows, and if you're stopping 85% of heat from entering and leaving, you're stopping noise. You're doing all the benefits that people want. They just didn't know about it. They had no idea. Referrals on this program are outstanding. Now remember, you don't have to be purchasing or refinancing to take advantage of these programs. Okay? Yeah. Edison and the gas company wants to give you money for doing your home, whether you're purchasing or refinancing. Upgrade California has a new 4.99% loan for regular homeowners, people that live in the home. Correct, Gary? It's 4.99 for 5 years, 5.99 for 10 years, 6.99 for 15 years.
Would it be like a refinance, or would it be like
No, that's a straight loan.
A green loan.
That's it. Yeah, it's a green loan. It really is, and it's the Edison and Gas Company sponsored. Now to get that interest rate, I'm almost sure they did a buy down. You know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm almost sure they did because that's a darn good interest rate.
And again, this is through,
Edison and the Gas Company.
oh, okay, so you do this, okay.
Yeah, the Upgrade California is the name of the rebate program, and their rules and their regulations we have to abide by. But it's, you know, by the way, Edison and Gas Company, you kind of wonder where the kind of money came from. All of us. That's where the money comes from. Just about all of it. You know, just like when they have their increases on San Onofre to clean that mess up, it's coming from us. Any other questions?
I remember you talking about, so when you refinance or purchase a home, the savings has to be greater than their additional payment.
On the energy efficient mortgage, it does.
Energy efficient mortgage.
That's why there's no qualifying.
Right, so that's,
Okay.
that's a no-brainer right there.
Well, it is, but you'd be surprised. You know, we did 20 of these in the last probably 3 months. We'd done 20, and we had one guy. Even though he was going to get $2,500 back from Edison, it was $35 saved $42. He couldn't get past the $35 increase in his house payment. He just couldn't get past it. But you're right; it's a no-brainer.
And it's adding value to your home.
And value, all the wonderful things that can happen. But there's always somebody that says, "Oh, that's see, I don't care if I save 67, I still got to pay 35."
That would be my parents.
Well, that's the way some people are, and we say thank you very much. You know, well, we might not say that, but something close to that. We have, if Ted, can you collect the surveys? I have a gift. Kind of a door prize.
Just need one more.
It's okay. We don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need him. He works here. He knows.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Might as well.
Everybody hand these in? Everybody hand them in?
Let Joe pick a winner.
No, you read it. I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
Hi, it's Joe.
Is it really?
Uh-huh.
Didn't give
Yay.
him a chance to pick his own.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, he's not allowed to win. That's
Oh, it
there
does.
you go. By the way, those 6 light bulbs, from the time they last, from the time you put them in to their lifespan, The savings is estimated at approximately $600. Okay, folks, thank you very much for your time.
So your name is Ray?
Yes.
Okay, then Ray, not anything.
Yeah, here.